frequently in situations where the economy falls apart and people feel that there's no one for them, they turn to more radical answers, and organizations like Hezbollah end up doing better in that environment. You don't see that happening in Lebanon right now?
I don't. I don't know if I'm naive, but I don't. I don't think that they can increase their popular base. They might do better if the country descends into chaos, because groups like that thrive in chaos. Look at Syria, look at Iraq. Hezbollah is a local Lebanese political party, but it is also a militant group armed to the teeth with the backing of Iran that has decided and taken it upon itself to wage wars in Iraq, in Syria, in Yemen. And the Lebanese are fed up with that. They want to be left alone. They don't want to be dragged into other people's wars. And they feel to some extent hostage to that party, which has a lot of veto power in a lot of the country's decisions, including in the management of key infrastructure, like the port.
Kim, I mean, as someone who loves Beirut very much, and a place that is so cosmopolitan, and the government, but also the culture, the food, the music, they all bringing together Christians, Sunni, Shia. Do you see that same level of unity, of purpose and engagement of everyone together with these demonstrations, or not?
You know, unity is very difficult in moments like these because people will all want to put forward their vision for how the government has to go forward. And we're not a united country. We are divided to some extent because we are Christian, Muslim, Shia, Sunni, Protestant, Catholic, etc. We are expatriates, diaspora, long-time residents. All social classes, etc. But we are, I think, a majority united in wanting a different future, a future that is non-sectarian, that is non-corrupt, that provides prosperity, justice, dignity for people. I think this is the minimum that everyone almost can agree on. What is going to be very difficult is to determine exactly how to get there. And it is hard to coalesce. Over the last 9 months, as we've been saying, there have been massive protests in the country. And then the COVID pandemic gave a lifeline to the government. Everybody had to stay indoors. And that kind of meant that the protests petered out, a little bit like in Iran and in Iraq. What did not happen in the months preceding the lockdowns was the emergence of a unified leadership for the opposition. And there are many reasons for that. People wanted it to be an egalitarian opposition. They wanted it to be horizontal, grassroots. And they didn't want opposition leaders to rise, because in the past, opposition leaders have been targets of assassination. We have lost many of our potential leaders of the future in this country in a wave of assassinations that started in 2005 and before. But going back to the cosmopolitanism, Ian, we pride ourselves in being a melting pot. We pride ourselves in having welcomed Armenians and Palestinians and Syrians and having hosted them and housed them with a lot of pain for the country as well. We're home to 1.5 million refugees in a country of barely 5 million. We've been home to several 100,000 Palestinian refugees since 1948. But this is our strength. It is also to some extent our weakness, but it is our strength. And so is our resilience and our ability to constantly rebuild no matter what happens. But today, Ian, the Lebanese don't want to just rebuild so that it can be destroyed again. They want to live.